All right, so the fifth Philadelphia Athletics World Series title was in 1930, and they won back-to-back titles, winning it in 1929 and 1930. This is actually a 1930 World Series hat, so keeping it true. Their hats were actually blue, so this is a modern rendition, obviously, but I thought it'd be cool to break out where you have the patch here. And they defeated the St. Louis Cardinals in this series in 6 games. Which is, cool, because obviously the Cardinals exist today, and they're a very classic team. But, the Athletics were 102-52, and 10 games better than the Cardinals. So the A's were the favorites in this series, but the Cardinals were still a good team. A lot of Hall of Famers in this series. Just to name a few for the Cardinals, they had Jim Bottomley, they had Dizzy Dean, but he didn't play in this series. He's obviously a Hall of Famer. Frankie Fritsch, Burleigh Grimes, Chick Hafey, Jesse Haynes, and the A's obviously had Connie Mack at manager, legendary manager, Lefty Grove, Eddie Collins, Al Simmons, and Jimmy Fox, all Hall of Famers. And the A's were, like I've mentioned in other World Series, just really pitching dominant in all of these World Series because their manager, Connie Mack, just knew what he was doing when it came to World Series. And the A's won Game 1, 5-2 at Shibe Park in a really interesting game because they scored there were a lot of innings where the A's just scored 1 run in 5 different innings. And they scored 1 run in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh, and eighth, and to win it 5-2. And Lefty Grove got the win in this game. He was actually the starting pitcher, and obviously in 1929 he was the relief pitcher, sometimes closer. So it was interesting to see him as a starting pitcher and pitch all 9 innings in a really good game with 5 strikeouts. Burleigh Grimes, who was obviously a Hall of Famer, he was the starting pitcher for St. Louis, and he went all the way, but he did allow 2 home runs in this game. He had 6 strikeouts, though. So Jimmy Fox got a triple in this game. He was very dominant in this. Al Simmons got a homer, and Mickey Cochrane, also a Hall of Famer. So, the usual suspects, if you will, were all contributing to this, and the A's were able to score 5 runs pretty soundly. And, this series was exciting because it went to 6 games. It featured, kind of an underdog versus a really dominant team that was defending their title from the year before. The A's did win Game 2 as well at Shibe Park, 6-1 final score, and in a really, also exciting game for Philadelphia because all of their runs came at the beginning. So it was a really interesting slugfest because they scored 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth, while St. Louis only scored 1 run. So not, just 2 games in, St. Louis is, already not able to put up a lot of runs on the board. So for the pitchers in this one, Philadelphia used Earnshaw, who was also a really, really good pitcher. He only allowed 1 run in this. He went all 9 innings. And Flint Rem was the starting pitcher for St. Louis, but he didn't do very well. He allowed 6 runs in just 3.1 innings. The relief pitching was good for St. Louis in this game, though, shutting the A's out. But, really good one for Philadelphia as they were able to win it, thanks to Jimmy Fox with a double, Al Simmons contributing, and Jimmy Fox was, definitely a really good base stealer and just a good player overall. So he was getting, a lot of time out there. St. Louis took Game 3 at Sportsman Park III. That's the stadium name. In a pretty good game for St. Louis because they shut out the A's 5-0 in a pretty good game. Rube Wahlberg was the pitcher for Philadelphia, and Bill Hallahan was the winning pitcher in this game. The Athletics still had 7 hits, but they just weren't able to score any runs. Bill Hallahan went all 9 innings. He was pretty good in this game for St. Louis. The Athletics couldn't win it, and the momentum kind of shifted because St. Louis won Game 4, also in St. Louis, by a 3-1 final score. This game was pretty exciting if you were a St. Louis Cardinals fan back then because they were kind of facing, a lot of, adversity because they're, if they lose this game, they go down 3-1 in the series. And they were losing 1-0 early in this game. Lefty Grove, a rare loss for him. But it wasn't, I'd say, a bad game for him. I mean, he only allowed 3 runs, and they were both in the middle frames, 3rd and 4th inning. St. Louis Cardinals scored all 3 of their runs. And, St. Louis pretty good in this game. They were able to get a double from Chick Hafey, obviously a Hall of Famer against a Hall of Famer facing Lefty Grove. Jesse Haynes contributing, and Charlie Gilbert all hitting off Lefty Grove, which wasn't easy to do because he was a great pitcher. In Game 5, though, the series is tied. It's getting important, and Philadelphia A's win 2-0 over the St. Louis Cardinals. And this was a good game, exciting. A lot of low-scoring games in this series. You have two good teams facing off and a lot of good pitching. Lefty Grove on the mound again with the winning. He was the winning pitcher, but he actually was coming in for relief. George Earnshaw, who was a great pitcher, pitched 7 innings, and Lefty Grove, they put him out what he did best, which was relief pitching. Burleigh Grimes was, Hall of Famer. He was the starting pitcher for St. Louis, but he lost his second game of the World Series in 1930 because he, allowed a lot of hits in this game. He had 7 strikeouts though, but his ERA was, definitely getting up there because he was allowing, a lot more runs. And the A's, no runs in the first 8 innings, but the A's scored 2 in the 9th to win it, on top of 5 hits. And they also, were really good from having a Jimmy Fox home run. And off Burleigh Grimes, obviously hard to do that. And he won them the game for that with 2 RBIs. He knocked in both those runs. So we go on to the final game where the Athletics clinched their final title, which would be their final Philadelphia Athletics title. This was a 7-1 victory over St. Louis at Shibe Park. And really good game for the Athletics. They had George Earnshaw back on the mound. He was 2-0 in this World Series. They faced off against Bill Hallahan, who obviously pitched before, and he lost. He was the winning pitcher before, but he lost this one 7-1. And the Athletics had a really good game from Mickey Cochrane, who was a Hall of Famer, Al Simmons, Mule Hawes, and they were all contributing to the effort and scoring in all those runs. They were doing well with sacrifice flies, and Jimmy Dykes, he had a homer and he had a double as well. And also Al Simmons, of course, had a homer, and he was a really good defender out there in center field and left field. Jimmy Fox got a double. I mean, the A's were just doing well, and I think they kind of figured out that, you don't need relief pitching. Obviously nowadays pitchers get tired and whatnot, but back then you don't necessarily need relief to, if a pitcher's doing good, don't take him out. And George Earnshaw, 0.72 ERA, I mean, that was crazy. The Cardinals had the losing effort from Bill Hallahan, and the A's clinched their last title, which would be in Philadelphia until, obviously, they'd moved to Kansas City a long way. And they actually had a 42-year drought until the next World Series, which was 1972. But this was 1930, which was an exciting World Series between these two clubs that were very historic, very much respected in the baseball scope. The Athletics got their 5th title. And a good World Series. This World Series was very much a manager, battle, and it was a good one for sure. You had Gabby Street for St. Louis, who obviously is a Hall of Famer, and So, anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. The A's, pretty good in Philadelphia, and unfortunately for the fans there, they would lose their team not too soon from this, but it'd be their last World Series, and this is it. So. Oakland World Series will be coming next in the 70s, but this is the last Philadelphia World Series, so definitely interesting learning about all that history. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and peace out.